One of the central articles of faith in modern right-wing mythology is that white people are the true victims of racial prejudice and animus in America. Now, it takes quite a bit of reality avoidance to construct and maintain this myth, as any cursory glance of data on incarceration or income and unemployment can inform you. Yet somehow Fox and company have been remarkably effective at getting people to believe this. They love trotting out this recent survey from Republican pollster Rasmussen showing that 37% of respondents thinks most black Americans are racist, while only 15% say most white Americans are racist. In the wake of Trayvon Martin's death, George Zimmerman's acquittal, and the national conversation on race, profiling, suspicion, and unequal justice, Fox has been working overtime to try to find some mirror image crime they can shove back in the faces of the liberal media and say, look, white people are the victims of black people. It is, it is a grossly cynical undertaking, but I suppose it's their job. First, O'Reilly and others on the network showed this awful video on loop of three boys beating the crap out of another boy who they believe had snitched on them. The assailants were black and the victim was white. The attempt to inflate that incident into some kind of racial symbol more or less failed. And so Fox started to look around for another story. And when the truly horrific details emerged of the brutal murder of Chris Lane, they got a little ahead of themselves. Chris Lane was an Australian transfer student at East Central University in Oklahoma, apparently murdered in cold blood by three teenage boys who reportedly committed the crime out of boredom. It is a horrible, upsetting, enraging story. But nearly immediately, Fox rushed to turn this into a story of racial hate and white victimhood.
Alan West has tweeted this, quote, "We were bored and decided to kill somebody. Three black teens shoot white jogger. Who will President of the United States identify with this time?" Excellent point. I wonder when celebrities are going to put on "I am Chris Lane" T-shirts.
Fox News White House correspondent Ed Henry even asked about the three black suspects at a White House press briefing.
Do you have any reaction to the Christopher Lane case?
I'm not familiar with it, actually.
In Oklahoma, this 22-year-old Australian, 22 or 23, I've seen different reports, a baseball player came from Australia, was targeted apparently by three African-American young men.
Except there weren't three African-American men. One is black, one is half black, half white, the other is white. That's what an official at the Stevens County District Attorney's Office told MSNBC. And then we also learned that it appears the three assailants, after their cold-blooded murder, went out looking for their next victim, who, according to this man, was his son, a black teenager in their school who was being threatened by the boys and called his dad in a panic about it. His dad ended up calling the police when he saw the three teenagers outside his house. In fact, that's how they got arrested in the first place. Of course, mistakes happen in reporting stories all the time, but this is one of those revealing mistakes that shows how much Fox and company want to use this horrible murder as a means of pushing a certain storyline. The whole thing was so reverse engineered and overdetermined, they couldn't bother to wait and check the facts. The irony here is that it is the right constantly accusing us on the left of making everything about race, of turning every action and event in America into a product of the grievance industry, whatever that means. Yet in 2009, FBI data shows that 209 black people were killed by white people in instances where we know the race of both the victim and the offender. And it's certainly not like every one of those violent crimes was a major story in the progressive media, or even any of them so far as I can recall. And that's because we are not sitting here engaged in the macabre act of combing through death notices so we can manufacture accusations of racism that will rile up our viewers. But that is precisely the ghastly undertaking at Fox News every single day.